This man, Umar Patek, is considered one of the world's most dangerous terror suspects. He's linked to Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, accused of organizing the 2002 deadly attacks on the Bali nightclub. Remember that? The good news is he's now in custody. The bad news is the United States will not interrogate him. We've chosen not to. Under the Obama administration, the CIA has stopped trying to detain or interrogate suspects abroad, except those captured in Iraq and Afghanistan. You disturbed about that? Me too. So let's welcome in now Congressman Mike Rogers. He's with the Intelligence Committee over in the House, actually the chairman. And you have a deep FBI background. You were with the FBI for a while. Congressman, first off, why haven't we made an effort to talk to this terrorist?
Well, remember that Umar Patek is in the custody of the Pakistanis. So we're at their, really, they have the ability to say no or yes to that. There's information that we clearly would like to have from Mr. Patek, and we'd like to have the opportunity to have access to him, to interview him. This is a problem we've had with the Pakistanis over time.
So they've said no to us, Congressman, or have we not asked?
Well, let's just say that there's some disagreement. Right now, there's a lot of tension between Pakistan and the United States, and I think this is a product of some of that tension, not having full access. But it also shows that we've got to do some work on and be very clear what our interrogation policy is in the United States, so that when we get an Umar Patek who's in custody, we have the ability to conduct those interviews. Those are very important interviews to have that information. It's one of the most productive ways we can get information about networks and how they operate, how they finance, how they recruit, those kinds of things.
So you cannot tell me right now if we've requested to talk to him and Pakistan has turned us down?
Well, I can't talk about the specifics of that particular case, but in a broader sense, we've had some issues in the past. A guy named Barater, who was somebody we were very, very interested in, somebody we actually helped capture in Pakistan through information that we've provided. And we'd like a little better access. We'd like fuller, independent access so that we can glean the information important to keep America safe.
All right, let's hear what the CIA spokesperson says. His name's George Little. He defends our policy now. He says the agency has a wide range of effective capabilities at our disposal to pursue terrorist and thwart activities. Our efforts in recent years have been led to a number of counterterrorism successes that saves lives. True or false, Congressman, is the CIA has been risk averse because they're ending up in court. They've been ripped apart in the public domain by this administration in particular, and they have no interest in being in the detention and interrogation business.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, if I were a case officer and I was an FBI agent at one time and the policy isn't clear about what I'm able to do when I'm in places overseas, yeah, you're going to get some risk aversion, and that's what I've been talking about this for months, about having a more clear interrogation policy and a Department of Justice that isn't pursuing criminal charges against case officers, CIA agents overseas who are doing their job for the United States. That creates a problem. So I can't blame the CIA for that. I do believe, the administration needs to be more clear, and they need to drop these charges against these CIA officers who were doing what they were told to do to defend America.
But here's the problem. This is intolerable. I mean, this is unbelievable that we're allowing this to happen, and people are still talking at each other instead of to each other. The administration's been in there for 2 years. This is a top priority, they have said, but yet the CIA does not know the rules?
Well, it's because the administration policy is a little bit confusing on interrogation. As a matter of fact, you even heard that when the director said, what would you do if you caught Osama bin Laden? And he said, well, gee, I guess I'd send him to Gitmo. Well, the president said he was going to close Gitmo. And so there's this confusion that starts at the top, and I think once we remove that and get a clear policy on interrogation to the United States, we'll get better at work. But in the meantime, that confusion, remember, Department of Justice pursuing charges against CIA officers, all of that confusion means that these guys are going to pull back a little bit in their ability to collect human information. Now, they're doing a lot of other good things, by the way.
You have a lot of respect, and you have a lot of power. You should not let this stand. You should do whatever you can to get some answers to these questions, and I hope you do. And don't worry about catching bin Laden. The current policies is not going to allow it. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Brian, and believe me, we're paying attention.
All right, next on the run.